welcome back to Trains Up North. Today I'm going to be looking at track cleaning. Yes, I am aware there are probably thousands of videos out there on YouTube alone. However, stick with me and we'll see what we can add to this debate. The reason I say debate is because there are hundreds of different views on this topic. What to do, what not to do, what products to use, what not to use, etc. It's going to be a two-part video, and this first part we're going to be concentrating on mechanical ways of cleaning tracks, so looking at things like track rubbers and fiberglass pencils and things like that. So what have I come up with in my research for this video? Well, I've spoken to many modelers, some of whom have extremely large layouts, some have large exhibition layouts, and I've asked them what they use and how often they clean the track. The responses I got were inconclusive. They ranged from I clean my track once a week to I never clean my track. You can get away with never cleaning your track? Surely that's witchcraft. He went on to explain that he doesn't have any stock with rubber tyres, he doesn't have any stock with plastic wheels, so you don't have plastic wheels on any wagons, any coaches or anything like that, they're all metal. And he also runs these layouts for at least a couple of hours a day, every day. So that's probably how he gets away with it. So plastic wheels. If you take your plastic wheels off and replace them with metal wheels, it does improve running, in my opinion. But I've seen no evidence of plastic wheels affecting track. Rubber tyres, on the other hand, they do add to track conductivity issues over time, unless we clean the track. So if you've got rubber tyres on some of the locos, then yeah, you're going to have to clean the track. It's an unfortunate thing. If you can get away with adding some more weight to the loco and getting rid of the tyres, brilliant. If you can't, just stick with the tyres and clean the track. It's not that difficult. So we can use mechanical or chemical methods to clean our tracks. So we can use things like track rubbers, fiberglass pencils, wet and dry paper. Whatever you do, don't use sandpaper. We can use lighter fluid. We can use specialist products such as inox. Now I'm going to cover things like inox and lighter fluid and things like that, and good old favourite IPA. So I'm going to cover that in part 2 of this video, because otherwise it's going to be too long and I don't think you'll want to hear me drone on for that long, to be fair. So I'm going to start off with track rubbers. Now pretty much everyone who does model railways will have heard of track rubbers. I've got a couple of different ones here. So I've got this one is from Hornby, and as you can see I've used it a fair amount and it's a bit worn. That one is from Peco. Other manufacturers make them as well, but they're not all created equal. That one is a lot softer, so the Hornby one, than that one from Peco. So some say track rubbers scratch the track. I've used both of these track rubbers and I can see marks on the track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use them both on these tracks. So I'm going to use the Hornby one on this first track. I'm going to use Peco on the second track. It's brand new, but when I say I've used them, I have used the Peco ones before. Like I said, after use I could see scratches on the track. However, when I got some brand new track out of the box, I could see scratches on it. so it doesn't really mean too much, does it? So what I'm going to do is lightly go over that. And you've just seen me go backwards and forwards, and that's something that a lot of people do, but I don't think that's the best way of doing it. As I said in my last video that I put out where I was looking at modelling, I think a better way of doing it is to use little circles like that, purely because otherwise if you do that you end up with the groove marks in your track rubber, especially with these soft ones from Hornby. When you come to doing your point work, don't do it in a circular motion, because if you catch the point blades you will damage them. So point work, we're going to go over it like that, but everywhere else we can do the circular motions, and we'll see what happens. So the reason these tracks need cleaning is because I've been out with the airbrush and I've just given them a coat with some Rail Match dark rust enamel paint. So I've sprayed them just to give them that rusty look. It's going to act as a base for when I start adding ballast and other weathering effects on the track. So the Peco one has left less debris on the track. It's not surprising really that the Hornby one's left more debris. It's softer, so it breaks up easier. It's not a huge issue. What we need to do is just vac the track. So looking at the track after I've cleaned it with these rubbers, there doesn't appear to be any difference in the number and depth of scratches from either product, so they're both about the same. Now people go on about scratches, and the reason that matters is because of electrical arcing. So if you have little tiny scratches in your rail, it can increase electrical arcing between the wheels. If you can imagine, if this was a loco, it's going along and there's little tiny scratches between the surface of the wheel and the surface of the rail head, the electrical arc between the two and across the gap. Now you'll sometimes see this, especially on rail joints, where you'll see like a little bit of an arc. So where you've got rail joints like there, sometimes you'll see a bit of a flash and an arc as the trains go over it. Electrical arcing creates heat. Now at the scale we're talking about, you're not going to notice it, but if you look at high voltage arcing, then you can actually see this with thermal imaging cameras. You can actually see the heat. With models, I've not actually tried it actually with a thermal imaging camera, but I'm guessing that it's not going to be noticeable. Electrical arcing has one of two effects. It will either clean away any dirt off the rails, or it will make it stick to the rails in the form of carbon. Now, I'm going to put my neck on the line and say it's going to do it in the form of carbon, because it's a model railway and they are like that. Build-up of carbon on the rails will reduce conductivity and cause more arcing. So we get arcing, which creates carbon, which creates more arcing, which creates more carbon, and every time it's doing that, it's creating more issues for us, and eventually we'll notice it because our trains will start running a bit sluggish and cutting out and things like that, unless we've got stay alive decoders, which are another topic. Like I said, brand new track straight out of the box, contains little micro scratches. So we're never going to stop this arcing entirely. However, if we can reduce the number of scratches we're putting on the track, then we're halfway to winning, aren't we? Let's face it, the track we buy, it's not clinical grade, so it's not really fine tolerances, it's not made for NASA or anything like that. So I've seen claims that track rubbers contain steel. Now, let's have a look. I'll keep doing it and I'll create a load of debris from our track rubber. So there's quite a bit of debris on there now, and the mini tripod that I use on this camera has got some really strong magnets in the feet. So what I'm going to do is just use that and run it over the 2 bits of debris. Now you can see debris there on the bottom of that foot and debris there on the bottom of that foot, which is really interesting and has quite surprised me, to be fair. The one on the left, that's the Peco Track Rubber. The one on the right is the Hornby Track Rubber. That's the 3rd foot off this camera, so you can see there's no debris on that. And just as a bit of a proof to you, has it picked any up? No, it's not. That's the Hornby line. Not really picking anything up. Let's go along the Peco bit of track. It may be. Oh, yeah, it's picked a fair amount of crap up there. So maybe the Peco one contains more metal than the Hornby one. I am genuinely surprised by that experiment, because I didn't think they'd contain anything that would be magnetic. Here is my class 153 in Northern livery, and you'll think I've staged this, but I really haven't. Look at the bottom there. It's picked up, I don't know what that is. Yes, I do. It's picked up a spring and a piece of metal from the point rod. So when I've put my point motor in and I've cut it off, I've not taken that spring away, and I've not taken that piece of rod away afterwards. And my train's been running round and it's picked it up. So if it's done that with that, and you've got tiny little fragments of stuff that's going to be attracted to a magnet on here on the track from these track rubbers, it's going to end up in your motors. And if it ends up in the motors, it isn't going to do the motors any good. So if there's anybody out there that wants one of these Peco Track Rubbers, it's a brand new one, you can have it. And if you want that one, I'll also send that one to you as well, which is pretty much brand new. I've literally used it for this video. So if you want them after watching this, drop me an email or something with your address on and I'll post it to you. You can have them. I'm not going to be using them on my layouts anymore. Okay, moving on. So yeah, what I was going to say is, if we use track rubbers, we need to go over it afterwards with a vacuum cleaner, just to get rid of all these bits. So let's look at fiberglass pencils. I've got 2 here. This one, I can't remember who makes it. and basically you can unscrew the tip, and inside there is a load of strands of fiberglass. Screw the tip back on, and to use it all you do is turn that clockwise, and as you turn that clockwise you can see it comes out. Turn it anti-clockwise and it retracts. This other one I've got, the other one's Gauge Master, and it's clutch pencil type. So there's a spring button on the back, you depress that and depress the button, and gravity will let it fall out. You can refill both of them. It's really easy to refill this one. You depress it, get your fiberglass rods, and just push it back in. Now, what I do to set it so it's not too long is let a bit out like that, put it on a solid surface like my baseboard, depress it, and then just bring the pencil down. So you've only got a little tiny bit like that sticking out at the end, and that's all you need. You might want to wear gloves when you're doing these, and whatever you do, don't touch the fibres at the end, because if they get in your fingers it's painful, and it takes a while to get them out your fingers. So what we do with these is we just rub it on the track. So the track I use is what we call silver nickel track, so it doesn't contain any steel. So if you're wondering if any of those metal fragments on the magnet were from the track, they're definitely not. The sleepers are plastic, so I know it's not off the sleepers. And as your fiberglass wears down, you just let a little bit more out. Now, just like the track rubbers, you will get bits of debris on the track from the fiberglass, but again, it's not a big issue, because all we do is get our vacuum cleaner out. I use a little battery powered Dyson that's rechargeable, and I just go over it with that. I get about 15-20 minutes charge out of it. It does take about 2 to 4 hours to charge up, but it's amazing how much track you can clean in 15-20 minutes. Using the fiberglass pencils, it does take longer to clean track than it does with the track rubber. However, based on that previous experiment, I think it's going to be worth the time. Yeah, that's that one done. Let's do this one by Gauge Master. And immediately this Gauge Master one is just working so much better. So, as if you've watched my previous video, you'll know that I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If I think a product's good, I'll tell you it's good. If I think it's rubbish, then I'll tell you I think it's rubbish. I'm not being sponsored by anybody. for these videos. If somebody out there does want to sponsor me and give me some stuff to review, I will do it, but it will come with that caveat of it'll be an honest review. So even if you send me something and ask me to review it, and if I think it's crap, I'm going to tell you it's crap. So what you might have noticed is I am a member of the Amazon affiliate program, and I have got a number of products that I've listed. The products I've listed are all products I've tried and I like, so I'm not going to put anything on there that I don't like. And the other thing I'm not going to do is put anything on there that I can get at my local hobby shop. So if I can get it at my local model shop, I'm going to get it at my local model shop. Now that might get me in trouble with Amazon, but I'm a big firm believer that we need to support our local model shops. If we don't, then we're in danger of losing them. With the Amazon affiliate program, then yes, I may receive a commission on the products. However, it doesn't cost you any more. So I've looked at the track in detail, and there does seem to be very little difference in the number of scratches caused by both of these products. However, there appears to be less scratches on the tracks that I've used the fiberglass pencils as opposed to these two with the track rubbers. So that's just another thing for the fiberglass pencils. That's the spur ones for the Gauge Master touch pencil. So the other thing I've seen people use is things like this wet and dry paper here. This is 1200 grit, so P1200. So I have used this in the past. It was a long time ago, and as long as you use the very fine stuff, you'll probably be okay. If you start using stuff that's a little bit too coarse, it will scratch your rails something dreadful. If you use the very fine stuff, you're almost polishing the rail rather than anything else. And like I said, I've used it in the past. It does work, but I'm going to leave it firmly in the past, I think, and I'm just going to stick with the fiberglass pencils. Whatever you do not use sandpaper. You will regret it. Trust me. It was a very long time ago that I did that, and I've never forgot that lesson. The higher the number, the finer the grit as well. So if you see something that's got P320, it's a little bit more coarse than this, which is the 1200. I wouldn't use anything less than 1200 on track. If you can get anything higher than that, even better. Good thing about the abrasive pads is you can attach them to the underside of wagons. So I've got a Hornby track cleaning car somewhere. I think it's still boxed up, to be fair, from when I dismantled my old layout. So I've also got a Dapple track cleaning car, which I've got a DCC chip in it. It's also got a flashing tail lamp on the back, and I've repainted the ends in yellow. Eventually I'm going to put some boss stripes on it and some other little bits of livery on it, just to make it a little bit more unique and fit in. It's not prototypical. I'm under no illusions it's never going to look prototypical, but you know, I can get it looking a little bit better than what it does. I don't use that for cleaning the track. I use that for vacuuming the track. I also use it for putting track cleaner fluid down. If I'm going to be using something like that to clean the track in hard to reach areas, I'll use the little Hornby wagon. It's cheap, it's cheerful. The reason I use that is because that's got two pads underneath, so that just sit on the rails. Whereas the Dapple one, it's a little round disc that spins, and it takes paint off things that you don't want it to. So if you have like AWS ramps and they're a little bit proud, it can catch them. My old layout, I had some check rails and things like that it really nicely polished when I didn't want them polished. So that's why I don't use that. As a vacuum cleaner though, it works brilliant, and you'd be amazed at what it picks up. Little bits of ballast that are loose, little screws that have come loose, things like that. I've even had it pick up a buffer that I lost off a train. So yeah, the Peco Track Cleaning car, if you use DC, it still works on that. Basically it'll spin faster the more power that you've got going through the track. With DCC, it takes power from the track and you can actually just set it to whatever number you want, just like you would with a loco for the speed. Like I say, if you are using the Peco Track Cleaning cars, make sure your ballast is well and truly stuck down, because it will take it up otherwise. Then the final thing I'm going to mention today is a humble pencil. So I have a pencil here. I've tried this in the past with mixed results. Basically what you do is you get your pencil and you just rub it on the top of your rails like that. Now, like I said, I've had mixed results. I'm just going to clean that off. So I don't tend to do that anymore. The idea with the pencil is you rub it over the rail head, it improves conductivity. I don't know why, but I think the theory that I'm going to throw out there, graphite is a good conductor of electricity, which we know, and if you can get it down to a single atom thick, so graphene, then it's apparently a superconductor. So maybe that's what we're doing when we rub the pencil over the track, and we were just doing it before we knew the exact science behind it. So my verdict so far, I have used the Peco and the Hornby track rubbers in the past. They're going to be going in the bin. If you want the Peco ones, one of them is new and the other one is virtually new, having literally cleaned that bit of track. Drop me a line, I'll post them to you. The fiberglass pencils, I don't like that one. That one, it's okay, it works, it takes longer. I just find it harder to use than this one from Gauge Master. This one, it feels a lot better quality as well. That just feels a bit cheap and plasticky. Would I use a pencil? No. Like I said, I've had mixed results. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Not really done a scientific experiment, but that's just what I've found in use. I use the Peco Track Cleaning car as a vacuum cleaner, and I'm going to continue using that in tunnels along with the Hornby Track Cleaning wagon. I'm going to cover chemicals next time, but just before I wrap this video up, I just want to do a quick little experiment. So I have here a piece of clean lint-free cloth, and I'm going to spray it with this mystery product that I'll look at next time. It's inox, by the way. So I'm just going to spray this inox on this cloth, and then that's off the Hornby road. So that first one was the track we cleaned with the Peco Track Rubber. That was the Peco Track Rubber. So Hornby, Peco. Not looking good for Peco here, is it? We'll do the red fiberglass pencil. And there we go. And then finally, we'll do the Peco fiberglass pencil. So that one and that one, fairly similar, not much in it I'd say. So yeah, the Peco Track Rubbers, turns out, a load of garbage. So I'd like to say thank you for watching if you've got to this point. I want to thank all the people that have subscribed so far. It really does give me motivation to continue doing these videos. I'm doing these videos sort of for myself as a record of what I'm doing. On my old layout, I built a building, and it was a kit, and I painted it and it looked amazing, and I can't remember how I did it. So I thought, you know what, if I'd have videoed it and put it on YouTube, I'd have known, because I could have gone back and watched my own video. So yeah, that's largely why I'm doing these videos, but it does slow the modelling down because I'm having to do a couple of different takes of things and things like that, and it just slows the job down on it, but I think it's worth it. Yeah, so thank you to the people who subscribed. If you haven't done, hit the subscribe button, and then you won't miss any videos. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and a like. It shows YouTube that my videos are actually half decent if you give it likes, and then it'll push it to more people. And that's the other part of doing this, it promotes the hobby. So you've got plenty of people out there that are doing really good videos on YouTube already. So Charlie over at Chadwick, his videos are top notch. You've got people like Richard at Everard Junction, who's a really talented young man. He doesn't do as many videos as he used to, but you know what, it doesn't matter, it's his hobby, as is this with me, and we do it because we like it. So yeah, I feel like I'm rambling on a little bit now, so there should be a video at the top of your screen that you might like. If you want to know a little bit more about the prototype, go and check out the videos I've done on signalling. It takes absolutely ages to do them, so hopefully you'll get something out of them. And until next time, goodbye.